Hang on, you guys. Sorry. Oh, there. Okay. Whew. That was a little scary. All right. I must have hit the turn camera. Yeah. All you could see was the ceiling. That was not so good. All right. So, hey there. It's Leslie with LuvINK&Paper. And I'm here in New Hampshire on a very rainy night. And so I'm glad to be indoors in my studio to share some fun things with you. So if you'll remember, this is part 3. So the first week that we talked about the soft pastels, we did the pop-in pastels where we added stamped in VersaMark ink and then added the pastels to that. And we also did the emerging color with the butterflies. That was really cool. Then last week I didn't go live, but I did share a couple of, I did share a video with coloring techniques using the water painters and the blender pens. So that was kind of good. Tonight we've got a couple more. One technique is I hope that this is, you guys are good with that. We'll do it again at the end. I'm going to just stick it over there. One is going to use our masks. So we have lots of masks in the catalog. These Adorning Designs decorative masks are in the August to December. See how I try to label? I haven't gotten all of them done, but some of them. So those are, look, gave us a little page helper, are here. So we have the diagonal stripes, this cool little pattern, the pattern that looks like frosting, and the snowflakes. I'm going to use the snowflakes tonight. So those are part of that gingerbread and peppermint sweet collection. That is what we kind of call a super sweet because it has a bundle plus an extra set of dies. Memories and more cards, the note cards that go with the memories and more cards. We've got some cute little embellishments, 12 by 12 craft paper, fun ribbon, the masks, designer series paper. Pretty much we've got it all. So that's where this set of masks comes from. And then there are 2 other sets of masks in the annual catalog. The basic deck pattern and the plenty of patterns. Okay, so those are in the annual catalog. All right, so I think we'll start with this one. So what I'm gonna do is I brought a little washi tape over with me, so I'm gonna put a little bit behind my cardstock. Okay. Then I'm going to put the mask. Some of you might notice, know these things that we call masks as stencils. Same thing. So we're going to go ahead and stick that down like that. So it's not going anywhere. All right. Now, over off camera to my right, I have a bin of warm soapy water. And that is because you do not want to leave VersaMark ink to just dry on these. It will be really, really hard for you to get that sticky VersaMark ink off. So I try not to let it dry on these, and I just pop it right in the water when I'm done, and that'll keep it moist, and I can go in and give them a good little scrub before I hit them. So I'm going to take our VersaMark pad, and we're just going to go all through there. So we're just gonna get plenty of, this is a little like Poppin' Pastels, except that we are going to not so the difference is we're not stamping, we're getting that pattern through here. Now what you don't want to do is add your pastels now, because they're going to stick all over your stencil. Okay, so what you're going to do is very gently, and if this was on cardstock, you would want to go more slowly and more gently than I did, so that the washi tape or painter's tape or whatever you use to hold your mask in place does not tear your cardstock. Okay, so we're just going to lift that up, plunk it in the water. Okay, so this is where it gets a little more like the Poppin' Pastels, because we're just going to add, and I already scraped off, I gave myself a little palette on my silicone mat. Okay, so I used the spatula end of my Take Your Pick tool and scraped down the colors. Okay, so that I would have a little bit of each color out and available. And then I have my, well, it's good to see you guys here. I just peeked and I have several of you watching, which is good. I'm glad. Okay, so I have my little sponge daubers that I'm pretty much just using exclusively for the pastels. I just keep them in a separate baggie and just use them. All right, so let's start with the Coastal Cabana color. Okay, and I can kind of see where they are, and there they come. Here they come. Aren't they pretty? Okay, and when you want to clean off, you just take a Swiffer sheet and rub the extra. And having the sort of cloudy part behind does not bother me. If it bothers you, well, I would use a smaller brush. I wouldn't use something quite as big as a sponge dauber, and then you wouldn't have those. You wouldn't have that cloudiness behind it. They pretty. You can definitely see where I was a little heavier with the VersaMark ink and where I had a little bit lighter touch. I'm gonna just maybe come over this a little bit. Decided I don't like that Coastal Cabana as well as I like this other blue, especially with the color that I chose for the background and stuff. Okay. So I'm just going to move that all the way a little bit, like that. Pick that up. And give that a little bit of a buff. Doing this will take any loose stuff off, and then once you do that, it's not coming off on your hands, okay? Okay, so now here is the base and layer that I chose. You can see why I decided I didn't really love that tone. I like this one a lot better. So I will likely trim from this side and minimize how much of that I have out and showing. All right. So, because I have my card front, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, right? Then the next layer is 1/4 inch down. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. So the one more down is 3 3/4 by 5. So that's what this is going to be. So I am going to go to 3 3/4 and take that off. Then I am going to go, oh, I usually go this way. And I will go to 5 this way. And now we just have that little bit over there. Okay. Now these could be, I could use them inside to decorate the inside of my card if I want, which I might. Okay. So let's add this one. Then we'll put this onto the card front. Then I have a couple of other non-pastel tips to share with you. Okay, so brought in my Night of Navy stamp pad. This, I think, well, not this exact pad, but Night of Navy was the first color I ever got way back before I was a demonstrator. So it was almost 19 years ago. And I have just loved it ever since. It's my favorite color. Pretty much most shades of blue. Huh, can you tell? Anyway, most shades of blue are something I am just drawn to. I don't know if it's because I'm a Pisces, and I don't know. Anyway, so May Your Season Sparkle comes out of the Snowflake Wishes set, and I meant to get these. Yep, that's what I want. Okay. So the die cut is from, yep, it's gonna come to me in a second. Stitch So Sweetly. Okay. I'll just add a few snowflakes up there. I'm gonna stamp them off so that they aren't quite so dark, like that. Okay. So that's one way I could do that. Ooh, and I could cover almost all of that. I'm so happy. So that's one option that I have, but I wanted to show you a trick that I showed people at Stamp Camp this weekend. So if you're here at Stamp Camp, bear with me. You're going to see it again. If you weren't here at Stamp Camp, check this out. So this is a strip of paper cut at not quite 2. So what does that mean? Well, you could measure to 1 15/16. It's like the last little tiny line before you hit 2. Or you can just not quite touch the 2-inch mark. I just do that. I don't actually measure, I just, so then you're gonna come in from the back. Now sometimes it slides right in like that, and sometimes you have to kind of go in from the back and lift a little bit so it doesn't get stuck, but this time it went right in. Then what you want to do, and I'm not sure you can see, but I've tried to eyeball so that there's about the same amount of space between the edge of the paper and the edge of the punch on both sides. Okay, then I'm just gonna trim, because I love this curve, but I need a bigger piece for this, because this greeting won't fit. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to stamp that. Whoops, let's get the whole thing. There we go. Like that. Okay. Then we're going to go back in this way, like that. See, now it's deciding to get a little stuck. Oh, there it goes. There we go. Then you just decide how long does it need to be. That looks about right. That looks about the same amount of distance from this edge of the greeting to that edge, so I think we're good. Okay. Then we'll just do that. And so now I have the size greeting I want with the curved edge that I want. Great way to get a little more mileage out of your punches. Okay, just saying. And since this one doesn't have that pretty stitching all the way around, let's just jazz it up and take our sponge here and just go around the edge a little bit. There. And then we will grab our snowflakes. I will stamp them off. And I will just stamp those right there. You can't go wrong with Night of Navy. It looks great. Stamped off, full strength, doesn't matter. It's gorgeous. Okay. All right. So we have the May Your Season Sparkle, 2 different ones. All right, anybody want to weigh in? I'm going to stand up for a second and look for comments. I don't know if there are any showing yet. Let's see. Anybody say hello to me? Oh, yes. My friend Barbara is there. Okay, so Barbara, what do you think? Do we want the Stitch So Sweetly or do we want the punch? I'm going to give you just a second to type back to me if you're still there. All right. Oh, I can even see who is here. I can see your pictures. Oh, that's so fun. I know, Leanne, the pastels really are a lot of fun. So I'm not seeing. Okay, punch it is, Barbara. Punch it is. All right, so I have some dimensionals here. I hope you guys use this. We used it at Stamp Camp this weekend. We were supporting a really cute card in it. And so those edges just work really well. So please, please don't, when all these parts, all the little hexagons are gone, don't throw them away. Use the edges. All right, let's put some dimensionals on this. So glad that you guys are here with me on this cold, rainy night. It reminds me of the Cat in the Hat book where the cat comes on that rainy day and the kids are home. Yeah. You guys are kind of like the cat in the hat, keeping me company. I love it. Okay. Yeah, I really don't end up liking that color, so we're going to cover most of it up. There we go. There. So there's another way to use the soft pastels. So you can use a sponge dauber or a brush or anything, but you want to get the VersaMark on through the stencil, then remove the stencil so that you don't get pastel all over your stencil, because that would be yucky. All right, let's set that one over there. And let's play with the next one. So this is, again, a little bit of a variation on the whole, sorry, I have a hair. So my hair has gotten very long. I'm trying to decide what to do with it, whether I donate it or what I'm going to do with it. And it's gotten longer than I've had it in probably 6 or 8 years. And it was wet when I went to leave the house today, so I didn't want to put it up and have it get funky bumps in it. And so it's just down and it's driving me crazy. So I had one hair that was tickling me and it was driving me batty. So I got it. It's good. We're all good. All right, so I embossed these 2 pieces of Very Vanilla. I'm not sure if you can see the difference. It is super subtle, but really important. So what I did, this one I ran through plain. I just put it in the folder, ran it through. This one, I took my folder. You know what, that mucky stuff is gonna bug me, so let's just get rid of it. There, clean. Okay, good. So I took the 3D seashells embossing folder, opened it up. I started to ink this whole thing, but I didn't want the background to get the ink. I wanted the shells to get the ink. So what I did is I took a sponge and I took my crumb cake ink and I just went inside. So on the side with the Stampin' Up logo, okay, it's depressed down in there. I'm probably getting crumb cake ink all over my fingers. And I just inked, I just took a sponge and kind of sponged around inside these shells. Okay, like this. So I'm just adding a little crumb cake ink. Not a ton, because you end up wiping a lot of it off, but just a little bit in there, like that. So you get a little ink in there, and then you run your cardstock through. Now, can I, ooh, maybe I can do it this way. Okay, so then I'm just gonna rub this. Hang on, I'm not sure if this is gonna make you wiggle. I changed tables. So today was furniture moving day at the studio. I moved all my tables around because the table that was here was really wiggly and noisy, and I didn't want that. And I also did, yeah, it didn't really show. It would definitely show better if I ran it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, but I'm not dragging that over here. So anyway, that's what happened with this one, where you see the definition and stuff. That's that little tiny bit of crumb cake ink, just giving it a tiny bit of definition, okay? So now what we're gonna do is we are going to add some color to this. So I wasn't sure that I wanted to do the whole, like just take my whole big VersaMark pad and do direct to paper, okay? I wasn't sure that I would be able to do it in a controlled enough way to not just have a blob, okay? So what I brought was, and I could have used a sponge dauber, but I didn't. And so what I brought, well, I have a clean sponge as well. So if I decide I don't like this idea, I might jump to the sponge, but we'll see. This is one of our uninked Stampin' Spots. So I'm just going to get some VersaMark. I'm going to use it sort of like a dauber, only it's going to be a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to get some VersaMark ink on that. And I thought I could maybe control how much pressure I was using with this a little bit easier. Because really all I want to do is catch the tops of, you know, the things that are embossed. And I am seeing shiny, so I'm guessing I'm getting some on there. So maybe before I get too carried away, I should try. All right, so let's take my green, and I'm gonna kind of mix these two greens a little bit because I'm not crazy about either one by themselves necessarily for this particular project. Sometimes I really like that granny apple green by itself. Sometimes that mellow moss, not mellow moss, mossy meadow, I know. Mellow moss was ages ago. Some of you might remember mellow moss. You could throw me a thumbs up if you do. That was a long time ago. I'll know you've been a stamping friend of mine for a long time if you remember mellow moss. All right. So let me grab my little Swiffer cloth here. Whoops. And stick the washi tape to the post. There. Oh yeah, I kind of like that. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and go back for some of these shells. Okay, so I like that one. Okay. So I think I want to kind of lighten up this poppy parade a little bit. See if we can. And see how the ink is mostly sticking to those highlighted places. Those are getting darker than the rest. Okay, let's do a little purple. Okay. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. Let's do a little blue. Oh, I was thinking earlier about how much blue I had been using, and it made me think of something. So Shannon was helping me clean out my closet one time. I don't know how long ago it was. And she had two comments. Her first was, "Mom, all you own are teacher clothes." I said, I'm a teacher of young children. I have to wear things that, you know, I can get up and down off the floor easily, whatever. Anyway, her second comment was, Mom, why are all of your clothes blue? Well, because I like blue. Anyway, it was pretty funny. All right, so let's get, we're gonna do this kind of grass, if I can do it. See if I can get just these wavy ones a little bit. And add just a little bit of that granny apple green. We're going to brighten it up just a little bit. Okay. Yep, that was perfect. Just a little bit. Where else did I hit? That's good. Okay. All right, so apparently this is going in the same thing with the sponge daubers, so that I know that I can use that as a VersaMark, as a smaller VersaMark pad. Okay, let's put these in their baggie. And I guess I shaved off more pastel than I really need, so just be aware that a little bit goes a long way. Okay, so you don't need, clearly you don't need as much as I shaved off of there. That's all right. Maybe I'll leave it here and play with it a little bit more tomorrow. Let's see. Okay. So let's grab my Swiffer cloth and neaten my workspace up a little bit, and also the card. Okay. So if you just rub over that a little bit, some people, you know, I remember back in the day when we were doing these techniques with our big boxes of pastels, that we had these little squares of every Stampin' Up color and all that. We used to use hairspray, and we used to encourage people to seal them. It's not coming off. So I don't really think you need to seal them. Okay. All right. So I didn't add a layer, so this one is fine at 4 by 5 1/4. So let's stick that right onto the card front. There. Okay. There. Okay. Then, I have, I'm pretty sure this one, ooh, I don't know what got on it. I know it's always hard because that glare, you probably are just seeing the camera, I don't know. Anyway, this is, I'm pretty sure, called the Everyday Label Punch. It's been around for a little while. It's one of the ones I really like a lot. And then I grabbed out of the Friends Are Like Seashells stamp set, because I am holding on to every last minute of summer, just saying. Oh, that's very vanilla. And I have white. Hang on one sec. I got a piece right over here. And I don't usually chop into big chunks like this, but that's okay. All right, so going to use Bermuda Bay, which is sort of like a little bit darker than the Coastal Cabana, but they're in that same color family, so it'll look good with the Coastal Cabana Coastal Cabana card base that I used. All right. So I'm going to stamp that there and punch it out. Like that. Then I'm going to real quick trim a piece for the inside. I may even grab, I think I've got an extra block. All right. There's 5. So normally, because I can get more pieces out of a sheet, I cut my insides a little bit smaller. So on a full sheet, I cut a little bit differently. So that's why I made this 3.5 by 5. All right, and so this says, friends are like seashells, you collect them along the way. And I am going to just put this, I'm so happy I found you, inside. And sometimes these real skinny ones, if you can, just lay them flat and, hang on, and change blocks. No, just pick it up with your block so that you don't inadvertently twist it or something, so it'll be more straight. Now also the whole reason, this was a Rachel Tessman trick I learned, to go diagonally like this so that your eyes aren't tricked by the edge of the block about whether you're straight or not. You want to actually look at the greeting. And some people try to eyeball like along a line. I can't get quite that fussy. Oops, I just bump you guys? Hope I kept my sparkly hair out of the, okay, there we go. There. All right, then, since I have crumb cake over here, let's get this little seashell and we'll put it down here. And we'll get this one, same thing, and I will just put it, actually I'm going to stamp off so it's really super faint because I just want a little bit of something there. Kind of tie those things together. All right, let's put it together. Put this on the inside. How are we doing on time? Ooh, hey, not too bad. Told Rich I'd be home sometime between 7:30 and 8. Looks like I'm gonna make it. There. And we'll grab my dimensionals again. Okay. There. Now, where do we want it? Oh, you know what? We need a little bit. I don't want to set. Oh, look, I'll just set it right there. And we're just going to use a little crumb cake. I realized that wasn't jumping off of there quite as much as I had hoped. So we're just going to give that a little edge. There. There we go. Ooh, better. better, better, better. All right, do we want it up here? I think we want it pretty far down here. Now, if I had been really smart and thinking ahead, I would have brought my rhinestones and put some little rhinestones or the little opal rounds or something to look like the water bubbles. Yeah. Oops. I'll add them later. All right. So that covers tonight. Okay. So we have the VersaMark through a stencil and then add the pastels. Okay. And then adding VersaMark to an embossed image to add your pastels to that. So, hope you enjoyed that. So that is sort of the end of this series. Next Monday is Paper Pumpkin Party, and I will be live at 4 because I will be back here at the studio for the in-person at 6:30. So, next Monday, 4 o'clock for Paper Pumpkin Party, and then I think I will likely take Monday the 6th because it's Labor Day. I may take that off. Not sure what Rich and I are planning to do, if anything, that day. So probably I'll see you again around the 13th. So, but you never know. You might get a notification, so make sure that's checked up there. Just in case I decide I'm here at the studio and I have something I need to share with you. All right, so thanks so much for joining me tonight, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye, guys.